Hello, my name is Rob Reynolds. Welcome to Mat-073. Today we're going to get our 6th session in Chapter 3, exploring solving systems of 3 variables, and we're looking at the applied word problems. So if you haven't seen some previous versions of some sections, you may want to check those out, especially the section about how to solve systems using your calculator, because I don't want to work all these out by hand. So probably the simplest type of problem is the triangle. So I'm going to write 3 systems of equations here, and it says the measure of angle B is 3 times the measure of angle A. So let's go ahead and write this statement. Should look, angle B means equal 3 times that of A. The next sentence that I see, the measure of angle C is 60 greater than twice the measure of A. So to write the B equation, I'll say the angle C is, and I'll write that down, C is, to go 60 greater, I usually add 60 to something. So I'm going to put the plus 60 out here. Twice the measure of angle A is 2A. And I need a third system. Since I have 3 variables, 3 unknowns, I need a third system. So system 1, system 2 were given, but you need to know that in a triangle, that the sum of the degrees of the angles always add up to 180. So I could pull out my calculator and solve this, but this one looks really nice to solve by systems, because I can substitute this B in for 3A, and I can substitute this C in, and I'll have everything in terms of A if I do that. So it's A plus the B plus the C equals 180. So I'm going to substitute this 3A goes right in here. So instead of A plus B, that's the B term. And then C goes here, so 2A plus 60. And sure enough, I have everything in terms of A. Adding all the A's, there's 1, 4, 6 A's. I'll subtract off 60 from 180 and get 120. Solving for A is 20, and I'll do some back substitution. If I take the A as 20 and plug it in up here, I'll get the B. So I'm going to write the answer A, B, C instead of X, Y, and Z. So 20, the B turns out to be 60, which is 20 times the 3. And then I know that the sum has to add up to 180, so the last one must be 100 because the 20 and the 60 make for the 80. Here's how the author worked it out. You can pause the video and look at their explanation, but it's very similar to what we had just done. And it's nice to always go back and check your answer. The second example is similar to the first, but this time I'm not going to solve it by substitution. I think I'm going to solve it by using our calculator just to refresh or to review that. So again, I'm talking about a triangular shape. So maybe one equation I know is x plus y plus z equals 180. The next thing I notice is they start talking about the largest angle and the smallest angle and then something called the remaining angle. So instead of maybe x, y, and z, I'm going to try to define these in terms of largest. So we could let z be the largest. Doesn't matter which one you let be the largest. We could let x be the smallest. Doesn't matter. And then let y be the remaining. So instead of x, y, and z, it might make more sense to say SRL, the small, the remaining, and the large. All 3 angles add up to 180. So then when I'm starting to write this blue equation, the largest angle is, so I could say L is 70 greater than the smallest. So 70 greater means I'm going to add 70 to the smaller. And then the last equation is saying the largest angle is, well, I could do substitution here again, but I wanted to show you this calculator. The largest angle is twice as large as the remaining angle. So that's twice as large as the remaining. So I'm going to dump this into a matrix, even though I can do this problem just like the previous problem and do some substitution. To dump this into a matrix, I need to put all the variables on the same side. So I'm going to put small, remaining, and large right here. So the small is -1. The remaining is 0, because there's no r here, so I could say 0r plus 1l is 70. And then over here I got l minus 2r equals 0. So the L is a 1, the R is -2, and I've got no small value here. And we'll go for a 0 here. So if you don't want to do the substitution or linear combination method, we could try to bust out our calculators. I taught this in a previous lesson, and it might be good to review this now in case the system gets difficult. So I'm going to go to Edit. This is a 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4, so I need to edit my matrix. 2, enter, 4, enter. I'll enter the data values. Oops, it's not a 2 by 4. This is a 3 by 4, 3 rows. Just a minute to type this in. Sometimes when I hit second quit, I like to just pull up the matrix and just look to see if I've typed in the matrix correctly. So let's just see, because I kind of bouched it a little bit. Yep, that looks like what I'm looking for. So again, I'm going to go under second matrix, go to mathematics, arrow up to reduce row echelon. That's letter B here. Press enter, second matrix. I'll dump matrix A in there and ask it to reduce the row. And I can see that I've got some answers, 180, 0, and 100. So you might, 0, you can't have 0. Oh, I see my error. I did the row echelon form. It just did the first. Let's go back. Second matrix, math. I don't think I hit the right thing. Let's go to letter B. I think I went to C, it jumped to letter A. This calculator is very hard to control. So I have to stay on letter B, reduce row echelon, because I don't have it in reduce echelon form. It just did the first step for me. There's my answer. Thank you very much. That 0 was creeping me out because there's no way you could have an angle that's 0. And I also know that I need the answer to have this nice diagonal look where I have all these 1s right here. So again, this says 1x equals 30. So again, the answer is 30, 50, and 100. And those are the 3 angles, so I think we should be good. A little bit more complicated, continuing reading on. Yeah, we should be checking. Yeah, the author got the same. All right, so the last example, trying to write the equation, looks like I'm talking about the length times of some commercials. So I've got a 30-second commercial, a minute commercial, and a 1.5-minute commercial during the Super Bowl. It looks like I've got a total of 42 commercials, so I don't know how many 30-second commercials they ran. I don't know how many 1-minute commercials they ran, and I don't know how many, we'll let Z be 1.5 minutes, but I do know that the total number of commercials is 42. And the next thing I'm reading is together the 42 commercials ran for 30 minutes. So that's important because I know that the total time is 30 minutes. So to find the total time, I would have to take the number of 30-second videos, and that's half of a minute, times x, plus the number of 1-minute videos, so that'd be a 1y, plus the minute and a half times however many z commercials there are. So that's the total is 30 minutes. So everything in here, this is in terms of minutes plus more minutes is a total of 30 minutes total. And the last system says the number of 30-second commercials is or was. So I think my 30-second commercials is X, because my 30 seconds, that's half of a minute. So I would say X is equal to 10 more than the sum. So I got to go 10 more than something. And it sounds like it's going to be a sum. 10 more than the sum of something. Let's keep reading. The sum of what? 1 minute and 1.5. Well, the 1 minute commercials are the Y and the Z. Alright, so my matrix might look something like 11142, 0.51, 1.530. Oh, I need to get all the variables on the same side. So this last one is going to be x minus y minus z is equal to 10. So I can get a 1, -1, -1, 10. And I'm going to see if I can go edit my matrix. It's still a 3 by 4. My first row is pretty similar, 1, 1, 1, but instead of it adding up to 180, the sum of the degrees of a triangle, I think now I want 42. Just entering the data here. Okay, hopefully I've entered that correctly. And so I don't make this the same mistake that I did before. I can just hit second enter. It's a recall key. So it's going to pull up and ask it to do the reduced row echelon form again. But now I have a new matrix A edited, and I get 26, 14, 2. 26, 14, and 2. So you probably don't want to leave your answer in this form. You'd probably like to go ahead and just tell me there are 26 30-second commercials. There are 14 1-minute commercials, and there are 2. So instead of writing an ordered pair, you might want to have to tell me what each number represents. So there's the final answer. I hope this video was helpful. Email me with your questions. Thanks.